Alright, so this is the start of race 1, round 4 of our 5-week series with TRC. I missed round 3 because of the fever that I had after the last race. Still lasted for like over a week. I was sick for over a week and I couldn't run last week. A little unfortunate, kind of puts me out of the standings. I would have been competing for around 3rd place, but that bumps me down to around 7th place in the championship standings. You can see here at the start of the race I'm trying to stay wide, trying to avoid contact. I did get a little bit of a bump on Skunkle Buddy, but it seems like we're okay. And then Skunkle, Bunny, and Crack come together there on the first lap, and I'm able to kind of split right between them and take advantage. A little bit unfortunate for those two, but it opened everything up for me. Looks like there's a little bit of chaos behind me as well, meaning that now I can kind of slot into the 7th place position, and I gained 3 positions off that start just by simply avoiding trouble. Slightly bumped side by side with Skunkle Bunny, but nothing really too bad, just a little door to door. And so this track, and for this race, I really didn't get to practice much, or at least as much as I normally do. And this is also just not a track I know that well. Just not feeling very confident with my pace. During practice, I was like 10th, 13th fastest, which didn't leave me feeling very confident. So my approach here during this race is stay consistent, avoid any major mistakes, avoid any collisions, don't try to be too fast, and we'll see what happens. So I'm trying to settle into the race, and I got a decent gap in front of me, and I'm not even really necessarily worried about chasing down the people in front of me, because like I said, my confidence is low at this track. On this track you can take a lot of curb, which I would think benefits some of those cars like the BMW, the Mercedes, the Bentley, which I know some people in our league run, where they're able to really cut corners, cut turns. I don't mean cut corners in any kind of illegal way, but just take some of these sausage curbs and not be too affected on their pace, whereas the Ferrari still gets a little bit unsettled, for instance on these wide sausages right there. And again, there's the second time where I get through a gap of people making a mistake. So just by avoiding a mistake and cutting in between the two who had an unfortunate accident, which I didn't really see what happened, but I'm able to jump all the way up into 5th place. So we're 2 laps into this race, and I've gone from 10th to 5th just by being consistent. So I'm really happy about that, and definitely start setting my sights on a top 5 finish. And so we're jumping, or this lap right here, I was about to say we're jumping forward. We're not jumping forward. This lap here, three laps into the race, is a lap where just everything seemed to come together and everything seemed to click. 5 minutes into the race, and if you watch these lines, just every corner felt like I hit it correctly, and everything feels really smooth. Corner exits, I'm on the gas early, and 3 laps into the race, tires are up to temperature. Tires are still pretty fresh. This ends up actually being the best lap of the night, and I'm not just talking about in this race, I'm talking about qualifying. I'm talking about the entire second race. This ends up being my fastest lap of the night. And this happening, in race 1 gives me that feeling of, okay, maybe I figured this track out. Maybe this track, maybe I'm going to find a rhythm here. Maybe I'm going to have a really good night and catch some people. But then I completely lose the rhythm later. This was just a one-off, maybe just a lucky lap. And you can see there I finish in the low 136s, which is a time that I'm not going to repeat for the rest of the evening. Jumping forward, I'm catching up with Iron Mikey, who unfortunately lost his force feedback and had to exit the game and start back from the pits. So really unlucky for one of my fellow lime green cars. And he is a lap down because of that disconnection for the force feedback. So I think in a minute he's going to give me this position. But he's not really slowing me down, so I'm not too concerned. We'll just let the move happen naturally. There's a moment there where he started to kind of go left, and it made me think he was giving me the inside. But there, when he loses the rear end, I'm able to get by. And it's always, always, always a huge win when you get by someone and also don't have to leave your racing line, and you're able to keep your pace up. And at this point, we're 15 minutes into the race. I'm skipping through a lot of this race because the first lap had a lot of action. After that, we don't have a ton of action. Round 2, which I'll be posting soon, has a lot more action in it, at least from my perspective. So you can see, skipping forward, I'm all the way into second place now, passing people in the pits, and you can see the driver behind me, Wisdom, someone I haven't raced with previously, and has some really, really good pace. He caught me quick, and then right there, I think he was a bit aggressive, and then I also might have been a little early on the brakes. And he catches me on the rear end, and I feel really bad about that, because I'm not sure if he felt like I brake checked him, but I think he was trying to be really aggressive going on the outside in a really fast section, but his pace was clearly faster than mine, so he had every right to go for the move, and he gets a bit unlucky. But like I said, he was way faster than I was, and so here he's coming back at me a minute or two later, and this time makes the move cleanly, so Wisdom is past me. But I'm still I guess he was a lap down because I'm still sitting in second place, P2. And now you can see on the times, on the relative times on the left-hand screen, all the other drivers ahead of me or around me have pitted, have taken their mandatory pit. I have not. So I know that while I'm sitting in second right now, that's not going to be the reality once I take my pit stop. And we see, as I'm following Wisdom, he's pulling away, so definitely had the speed advantage on me, the pace. He seems to take this section so much faster than me. As I push a little too deep there. It's interesting because this is one of the smaller tracks on ACC. As I dive into the pit, it's interesting it's one of the smaller tracks on ACC, and yet I felt like I had a lot less traffic. As I leave the pits here, you can see I come out in 5th place. So again, I'm super happy with 5th place right now, with 4 minutes left in the race and having done my pit stop, because a top 5 finish on a track that I felt slow at, I just think that's a huge win. Huge win. And now, this time, I pass someone in the pits. It looked like it was Snuggle Bunny, I believe, in the pits, giving me the 4th place position. The car in front of me is a lapped car, Sailor. No urgency to pass him. He's not slowing me down too much. And there's only 2 minutes left and a decent gap behind me. So no stress here, just trying to keep it clean and finish this race with a top 5 finish. And so Sailor, I think he was giving me the position here really generous. Not something he had to do, because he wasn't slowing me down necessarily, and there's only 1 minute left. But definitely much appreciated. So now I have some open, clean air. Can get that full downforce of the car, and bring this thing home with a top 5 finish with very little drama in this race. I guess there was a lot of drama from other drivers. Some people disconnected, some people lost force feedback. There was those accidents in lap 1. and I definitely was the beneficiary of some other drivers' lack of luck. Not the way I want to get a top 5 finish, but I guess we'll take it. Alright, so moving forward, and we got just a couple more turns left across the checker flag. And like I said earlier, you can see my best time was lap 3, which is pretty crazy because I had a full tank of gas there, and as the car got lighter, I got slower. I think it was just inconsistency, lack of confidence. Never really felt like I could push too hard on this track. But we end up with what I would say was a very, very lucky 4th place finish. Very, very lucky 4th place finish.
It sounds like a lot of people had
The second race, which I'm going to be posting tomorrow, I believe, you will see there's a lot more drama, at least from my perspective, and also a lot more battling. What was really fun in race 2 on this Wednesday evening is I got to battle with Skunkle, which is a good buddy of mine. So being able to battle with a friend was really, really fun. But anyways, like I said, really happy with the 4th place finish. Yeah, next time I get a top 4 finish, I really hope it's more on my merit, more on my pace, either like a really good qualifying or just some good overtakes. But we'll take what we can get. Fun racing with these guys. Unfortunate that other people had unlucky incidents this evening. But I hope you tune in for race 2, which I'll post very, very soon. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.